شفقا لخيبين ولا تلنسيونا إلا باتسا من بيشا متول الخيمة الكوتا وهيلا وتشبخ لما المين.
Here we are this afternoon with Mr. Michael Jackaman, who is from Bethlehem. And Michael, if you would tell us a little bit about where you live and what you do. So over to you, Michael.
Thank you for inviting me. So my name is Michael Jackaman from Bethlehem. I'm originally born in Bethlehem, so this is my city in the Holy Land. I've spent all my life in here. I work as a tour guide, so I started right after high school. Working and studying. So I studied tour guide, but also was working as a tour coordinator in a travel agency called Layla Tours and Travel for almost 10 years. Then after that, I spent my time doing guiding pilgrims to the Holy Land or coming into the Holy Land from all parts of the world. I have my family also over here, all my friends. So this is my city. This is where we live. This is what we do as Bethlehemites. We focus mainly on tourism because this is the main source of income for almost 80% of the population.
And you were born in Bethlehem. You went to school in Bethlehem, I'm guessing, yeah? So you went to Terra Santa School in Bethlehem?
Yes, yes. This is where I graduated from.
And from there, you went straight into the pilgrimage tourism industry.
Exactly. Yeah. Of course, while studying also at university.
So which university did you go to?
So I joined Bethlehem University. At the beginning, I was studying English literature.
Wow.
And then switched to Dar al-Kalima University, taking the tour guide course, which is my main job right now.
So you went to Dar al-Kalima University as well as Bethlehem University?
Exactly.
And is that a requisite, is that necessary when you're a tour guide in Bethlehem or the West Bank for you to study it at university to have a degree? Is it a specific exam that you have to sit?
Yes. So it's not anyone who can just say I'm a tour guide and start guiding groups and pilgrims into the Holy Land. Our Ministry of Tourism have a program with the local universities to teach students to become tour guides. So taking the tour guide course, you have to study basically lots of subjects, whether it is religion, the three religions, and even history of religion, archaeology, anthropology, the art of icons, and politics, lots of different subjects. Because our country is very rich with history, lots of different nations came across this country, lived in this country. It's not a new country with a new history. It's a deep history, so you have to study it to be able to pass it on correctly, because otherwise you will miss the point. Jesus was here. We read about him from the Bible. To understand the Bible, you have to meet the people, to hear the stories from the locals. And here comes the combination between being as a tour guide, as someone who studied the history, studied the religion, studied the history of the country, and someone who lives in the country. That kind of make the full context for anyone visiting the country to understand the country from the different perspective, whether you're coming as a pilgrim or not. So after graduating from university, you have to do an official governmental exam. And then after you pass that, so it's not only passing the university and getting your certificate, you have to apply for the Ministry of Tourism, pass their exam, then you can get the license to basically practice your job. And also every year you have to do a refreshment course, so they make sure that you're always up to date on whatever any result or anything new that comes up, and you're always up to date.
Wow. So that's really very highly qualified. I mean, if you study anthropology as well as the theology of it and the religious history of it. And you mentioned something really interesting to me then, just in passing, that you said that 80% of the people in Bethlehem are involved in tourism or pilgrimage in some way. Okay, that's a huge amount of people, I'm guessing, or a huge proportion of the population. The population of Bethlehem now, how many people live there?
We're talking almost 32 to 35,000 people in Bethlehem city, whereas if we're talking about the province of Bethlehem, we're about 220,000.
Right. And what percentage of the population in Bethlehem now, what percentage are Christian at the moment?
In Bethlehem, we're talking about nearly 15%. I can say around 12 to 15%. But this is according to 2017. Since COVID, many families immigrated, so I don't have an updated percentage as of today.
Okay.
But the number is decreasing year after year.
Okay.
So nearly 4,000 families immigrated from Bethlehem, or members immigrated from Bethlehem from COVID till now.
Wow. So
Which
that's
is a big
in
number.
6 years, 4,000. Yeah.
Yes.
Would the majority of them be Christian, or would it be equal numbers between Christian and Muslim, or what's the sort of percentage there?
That number was given by the municipality, but I don't know whether it's Christians or Christians and Muslims, like general population. So I'm not exactly sure, but there is a big percentage of Christians, which I don't have exact number, but big number of Christians are immigrating, especially in the past few years from COVID till now.
Yeah. Okay. So how do you survive? How does a population who relies on tourism survive?
Yeah. So the good thing about this country is the strong community that we have, the close relationship between families. So it's been difficult years. We had no work, but at the same time, we live around friends and families who everyone, whenever they see anyone who needs help, they help each other with a little that they can. So for me, I live in a house where the floor below me are my parents. The other floor is my brother. And I have another brother who works in IT. So basically, we're all relying in tourism except him. And he's the one who's supporting all of us at the moment. My parents, they do handicraft, which relies on tourism. They do stained glass ornaments. My other brother also is a priest at the Church of the Nativity. So tourism also affected the church itself.
Yeah.
And everyone related to the church. And I work as a tour guide. My wife is a tour guide. So my other brother is the one who's been supporting us during this time. But at the same time, we always try to think what to do to support ourselves. So we don't like to just sit and say there's nothing that can be done. So I do web design, so I created a website called BethlehemGiftShop.com, and we started to list on it handicrafts that are made in Bethlehem by locals, such as olive wood products, the stained glass ornaments of my family, silver products that are locally made, that are also designed like in a leaf shape or something related to the country over here. Micro mosaic products made by also couples from Bethlehem. We have also embroideries and other things. So we thought we can start an online shop and start selling online.
Do people go online from around the world and then choose items that you sell and then you ship them from Bethlehem to where they live?
Yes, exactly. So you go to the website, you choose what products you want, you see their prices, their specifications and description. You just add it to your cart and you proceed to checkout. On checkout, you just fill in your details. It asks for your visa and you pay, and it creates an account for you automatically. So you have your order there, you can track it, and we ship it from Bethlehem. But even with that, still we have some difficulties. So I started with this website at the beginning of like 1 month after the war. So the war hit in October, November. I was like, we have to do something else. It's gonna take a while, so we have to work something else. So we did the website, but at the beginning, payment was a problem. It was an issue because we had no uh, payment gateways that allows us to receive payments online. But then one of the banks had this feature as a new feature, so I applied for it and I got it. So it's been only since August last year that I have online payment on the website. But the other issue that we came across, which is since we're in Palestine, our banks are Palestinian banks. So we face an issue when people put their credit card details, the process does not work. Some banks does not allow you or does not authorize you to make a payment through this website because it goes to Palestine. So basically, anyone report that they cannot do or pay online, we have to tell them, call your bank, ask for manual authorization, and then it goes fine. So it's not something that is easy. Many, they will just come across this problem, they just close your website and they forget about it. The other problem that we are facing since the beginning of the war with Iran, shipping stopped. Now it's back on, but I think it's slower than before.
The stuff when you ship, do you tend to ship by air freight or do you do it via?
It depends. So the customer can choose whether they want their products to be shipped using the Palestinian Post, which is low cost, but it's slow, or by FedEx, by air, which is higher fees but faster, like 1 week you receive your products. And this is also a challenge because many people want like one item. They have to pay sometimes the shipping cost, even the Palestinian Post, which is low cost, can cost more than what you're actually buying. Yeah. So that's also another challenge for us.
I'm guessing that there must be a lot of people within the West Bank and possibly East Jerusalem too, who use this same method to survive, especially if they've been involved in the tourism industry already and they have those connections.
Yes. Many actually, they are doing the same. All my friends that are my colleagues working as tour guides, many of them they just did the same, not necessarily through creating a website. The good part for me is that I do the web design myself, so it's not costing me anything for the work of the website. But many like they reach out to their tourists that they met before. They use like send manual method, sending photos and making orders and shipping. For me also as someone who can do web design, which is self-taught, so I learned that from YouTube. I used that skill during COVID and now during the war. But during COVID was easier because people, they know it's a pandemic. It's going to take a bit of time, but then things will be fine. Whereas now the war is affecting businesses, affecting the economy. So most of those that I offered my services to, they apologized because they said, like, we're not in a position to spend money on something that we know it's not gonna bring us any business anytime soon. Especially we don't know where all this situation is going and when it will end. So even that, which is not related to tourism, is not doing well. So anyway, the way I make income, basically, I don't make income, but it's just very little from here, very little from that, with a bit of support from the family, specifically my brother. So this is how we survive.
Yeah, that's hard. But
That is.
my limited understanding of business is that, yes, that's a thing that would work because people do want Palestinian products. People do want the religious icons and candles and everything that you can get from Bethlehem. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, well, it's true. And this is the best way to do it, actually. And we thought of it many times. the challenge for us was you need someone in another country, whether it's in Europe, in the UK, or in America, or wherever, to get your product, to receive it, and will be in charge to work with you to ship the product. So he will be the one managing the stock and the store, the warehouse, or whatsoever. Which for me I don't have. And the second challenge, which is shipping products in bulk, you need the cash first to buy it from here and send it over there.
Yes, you do.
Which also we're in a situation where we don't have the cash to pay it up front and put your products in a warehouse in another country and wait for that product to be sold. And then you get back the cash. We're in a situation where whatever cash you have, you need it to live. So that's also a challenge, actually. I thought of that a lot, where if we can ship to someone out of this country, whether like someone in Europe, someone in the States, so wherever you get orders from, whether if it's in Europe, it's fast shipping and low cost, whether it's in America, it's also maybe you can do free shipping actually, whether in Europe or in America, or low cost shipping if the products are already there. But as I said, it's a problem with getting the products from here, buying it up front, shipping it, and the problem also, you will have also some products that maybe will not be sold anytime soon. You will have some products in stock that no one is going to buy it, you know?
Yeah, I agree. But that would be really the headache then of whoever was buying it wholesale from you.
We need the wholesale, someone to buy in wholesale.
Of course.
That's the
This-
best solution, you know?
Whilst this is a conversation would interest me a lot, and no doubt interest you, I'm guessing if we get into the minutiae of how a business works where you're shipping stuff, people would probably switch off mentally. But here's what I would say. It's yet another example of why increased connections between increased relationship, meeting, knowing about people between the UK and Palestine is key to this, because once those relationships have developed and the more people who know about this, there are people who would want to invest, even small
Of course.
investors who would give to a Just Giving or to a GoFundMe to put up the money to import the first stock. And then once you do that, you're off and running. And I know that there are certainly charities out there who would definitely help as well. And it's about joining people together. So hopefully this podcast will go some way to doing that. This
We
is,
hope,
inshallah.
inshallah, we hope so. It would be great if we can, in a way, reach to someone who can buy in bulk in as a wholesale, and then they have someone to buy it from them and to help in that. That would be great and very helpful. The thing is that we're not seeking someone to basically just send you support or send you money
Yeah.
to support you, and in return of nothing. The people here, they just want the opportunity. They want the chance to put their feet on the right track, to start
Yeah,
doing something. And then this way they will get income out of their own business.
certainly. Yes, you're dead right. And everybody that I've spoken to within Palestine has said the same, that that's what they want. They want the opportunity to create their own wealth.
Uh,
And I think that as a natural resource, it's huge in Palestine. I was speaking with somebody from Taipei, from Maddie Skuri from the Taipei brewery, and she
Yeah.
told me about in 2019, before COVID, before the war, for the Oktoberfest, 10,000 people visited in 3 days. So people had to stay in Bethlehem, they had to stay in Jerusalem, they had to stay in Ramallah just to go in, because it's such a fascinating country. Once you've been,
Yeah.
you're never going to forget.
You know, the people here, they have the skills, they have the capability to do things, you know, but just we lack of opportunities. We just live in a country that does not give you the chance and the opportunity to grow or to be stable in your life
I know.
economically, and not only economically, at the personal level also in your family, you know. So
Definitely.
If we have that, it's gonna be great.
There are obstacles in the way, but I think, as you've already pointed out, that one way of smoothing those obstacles is that you have advocates with us here in this country, and we have advocates with you in your country. If we have that connection as one group, then it happens. I think even just trying to transfer money to, for services rendered to people in Palestine has been a headache. May I ask a personal question? Do you have children?
Yes, I have
You
two
do.
kids.
And how do you see their future in Bethlehem?
Since the beginning of the war, I've been thinking of leaving the country. And I reached a point where in January this year, I thought of applying for immigration to Spain, because Spain is one of the few countries that have easy immigration for Palestinians. You just go there, tell them I want to immigrate. I no longer want to go back to my country because of the political situation. They will take you. The United Nations will handle you 5, 6 months. You get residency, and then after I think 5 years, you get your citizenship. The things that when you apply or when you immigrate from your country, it's not easy to get back. And you have friends, you have family, your parents, you have brothers, sisters here, thinking of leaving and not coming back. So for me, thinking, what if something happened to my parents and I cannot come back? What if they needed my support in terms of healthcare? That's a big. That, So basically, I said, no, I won't do that. Just 4 days ago, exactly 4 days ago, I came back from Italy. I was on a vacation in Italy. You may wonder how I traveled while living in this hardship, but actually, I was invited by a friend who covered our travel. Otherwise, I won't be able to travel. My wife and the two kids. And all my stay in Italy, I was thinking of why should I come back? It's a much better country. I visited Rome just 2 days before I came back over here. The number of tourists entering Rome in one day is greater than the number of tourists that will enter Bethlehem in the next 2 months, even before the war. So there is opportunity. You can do something. So when I think of it, I think of my case, actually. If I want to leave, if I want to another citizenship, it's not for me, but for my kids. Because I cannot imagine how is it going to be for them in the next 10, 20 years, 30 years from now.
What do you think then that people in the UK and people in America and Europe, what can they do within their own countries and within Palestine to make this situation better so that it becomes a country where your children can live in the future peacefully and prosperously? What do you think we could do?
Well, actually, the first thing and the most important, which is to keep coming, which I think many they know that. That is going to be the answer. So when you keep coming, you don't only support by spending your money and being here, like supporting businesses and so on by spending your money here, but also when you hear the locals, when you see with your eyes, the way that you can help is by going back to your country and not stay silent, but to share your experience and tell others, encourage more people to come. And the more the people know about what's happening, I think it's going to take time, but they can change things, even if it's going to be slow. So it might not be at my time. Maybe it's going to be at my, like, for the better life for my kids. Change does not happen very quickly. It's not going to happen that by coming, by supporting, by sharing, by spreading awareness, that in the next 10 years or 5 years things gonna change. But it will take years. So maybe my kids will experience a different life than what I experienced. But at the end, it's helpful to come, to spread awareness, to share your experience. And another thing is that do business with Palestinians, especially if we're talking about the Christian community. We're very minority. So we lack of opportunities. So help us to create opportunities in this difficult situation, in this difficult country.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's so obvious once you visit, once you go, Two things are obvious. One, that it's safe. It's safe for tourists. I know that.
No,
I was there on my own. It was not a problem. This was easy. Two, the people are very, very grateful. People, if they hear from you what you've just said, they will want to come back, not just because it is solidarity with you, but also because it is such a fascinating country. I mean, you mentioned in passing the oldest habitated city in the world, Jericho and Wadi
yes,
Quelt and Bethlehem, the birthplace of our Savior Jesus Christ. I mean, the whole thing is just fabulous.
exactly. Yeah. I'm Greek Orthodox.
Yes.
Yes. So basically, the Church of the Nativity, the Basilica, is where I go for Mass on Sunday.
Yeah. Does your faith help you to stay resilient, to keep hopeful, to believe in the future?
We try to. So we have the only thing that we have actually is faith and hope. So we use that. Otherwise, if we lose that, we lose everything, you know? So yeah, basically hope and faith.
There must be so many difficult things about, which we haven't even touched on, about living where you live. But as an outsider, I would say that nothing would come close to the ability to live in Bethlehem. I could not imagine a better place to live. And to call that home and to be part of that 2,000-year heritage of the land must be fabulous, but it doesn't feed your children. I understand that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we see millions of people around the world wants to come and visit a country which is where Christianity started, where Jesus walked, where Jesus was born, where he crucified, you know. But at the same time, it's sad that we as Christians who are living in this country, we think of leaving. Seeing people who want to come from different parts of the world just to visit this country, that means them a lot. It gives us hope.
I don't think much is going to stop me in the future, hopefully, from visiting both you, Bethlehem, Jerusalem, everywhere that I can be. And I would encourage everybody else to do it as well. And when they do, to get in touch with you and people like you so that you can make sure that the money that they put into the community stays in the community and enriches the community.
Thank you. Yeah. You're most welcome anytime. And
I'll be there.
but by also doing this podcast, actually, you're supporting us. So thank you for your support.
Michael, it's been a pleasure, and we will speak again soon. Okay?
Sure. Thank you very much, Mike.
Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Bye.